Good morning and welcome to another episode of America Full Circle. I'm your host, Dana Magella. Today I join you from historic Ohio at the Spring Hill home, located in the northeast region of the state in a little city called Massillon. Spring Hill, established in 1821, was home to Quakers Charity and Thomas Roach. You can see behind me, this entire middle structure of the home is original, built in the early 1820s. The Roaches moved to Ohio from New England in 1811 at the urging of their doctor. He believed the climate of the wilderness and the new frontier of Ohio to be better for Charity's health. Thomas and Charity only had one child, a son, Tommy, born in July of 1791, who sadly passed by November of that same year from tonsillitis, an illness that was fatal to many children in that day. Upon moving to Ohio in 1811, the Roaches founded the village of Kendall, known today as Northeast Massillon. They were instrumental in helping settlements and settlers establish and aided with the founding of many schools and libraries all around Stark County. The Roaches were members of the Quaker Indian Affairs Committee and staunch supporters of the abolitionist movement. It was their home right here that took in freedom seekers on the Underground Railroad, sheltering and protecting them, feeding them, and helping them to move along their route north to freedom. The Spring Hill property was a documented station on the Underground Railroad in 1820. In 2002, Spring Hill was celebrated as a designated official documented site on the Underground Railroad by the National Park Service. From its inception in 1821 and throughout its next 150 years, Spring Hill's significance and influence was reflected in the cultural, social, and economic growth of the city, state, and of the nation. Spring Hill opened as an historic public site in 1973, offering tours, field trips, speaker series, and various community events, and is still very active today. While Spring Hill operated as one of the most important sites on the Underground Railroad, did you know it was only one of many in Ohio? Ohio's role throughout history is substantial, and its contributions to freedom seekers on the Underground Railroad were some of its most important. Ohio's geography, with its many rivers and Lake Erie, created numerous passages for freedom seekers. The Ohio River made northern travel accessible, and Lake Erie carried many to freedom in Canada. Ohio had roughly 3,000 miles of freedom routes, becoming the largest network of systems with roughly 15 stations throughout the state. Like today, much of Ohio was made up of laborers who were sympathetic to enslaved people. As a result, many Ohioans were agents and conductors guiding freedom seekers on the Underground Railroad. Historians and civic-minded people make up the Board of Trustees and volunteer program to keep Spring Hill preserved and maintained for generations to enjoy. Board of Trustees Secretary Mandy Altimus Stahl has been gracious and welcoming enough to invite us into the home of Spring Hill today. Let's go see if we can find Mandy. All right, let's go into the beautiful Spring Hill home. Well, will you please, I know you mentioned to me that Spring Hill is your happy place.
Absolutely.
So will you please take us to just two? I know they're probably all your happy places in this home, but will you take us to two of your happiest places and tell us a little bit about them?
Absolutely. Yes, we are actually in one of my happy places. I absolutely love when we can provide a background that is as accurate as we can make it, using artifacts that were used here at Spring Hill, and always like things, details such as bread to give us the feel that somebody might have just walked away and we kind of snuck in here to see a pioneer scene. So this would be the kitchen of Spring Hill Home, and would have provided space for any of the staff, the farm workers, the family to obtain food, and then either cook it to bring it up for a formal banquet, or to kind of eat here, down here as a meal all together. Okay, so Spring Hill Historic Home was also an Underground Railroad site, and we actually have that documented in a letter from George Duncan thanking Thomas Roach for actually hiding him in his home in 1821. So the farmhouse wasn't probably finished by the point that George Duncan came through, but we know that once the farmhouse was completed, that there was in fact a secret staircase that could squirrel people away from down here in the basement all the way up to the second floor.
Okay, so Mandy, tell us a little bit about this next area that we're in.
Absolutely. So we saw the secret staircase at the basement. So there is no entrance on the first floor. So you wouldn't be seen if you were making your way up these stairs. So as you come up to the second floor, then we get to what used to be a closet. So you can see by this right here where the closet would have been. If you went through the closet, then behind, some clothing, some barrels, something to kind of put in front, there was a secret then hiding place, which is actually sizable. Like, this is a pretty decent sized space for any freedom seekers who needed to hide out while slave catchers came on site. Absolutely. Yeah, and the fact that these pieces are preserved and that these sections of the home still exist are why we encourage people to come and actually see it in person, because it does have a profound effect when you're physically here on site.
Oh, it sure does. Well, thank you so much, Mandy, for your time today and for all of the wonderful work that you do to bring our history into present day for all of us to learn about and know about these wonderful services that you offer.
Thank you.
Thank you.